You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
A somewhat rare Saturday night episode for Go Time Dolphins, but we felt it was only right we jump on and discuss what is essentially keeping Dolphin fans up at night. We'll get into it in a second. As always, joined by Charlie Touche. Charlie, tell everyone what time it is.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. It's a lot going on in Dolphins Twitter, Kadeem. Like, I think we say this. I feel like I say it. Whenever there's no football on, I feel like I say it every year. But there's never been a quiet Dolphins offseason. It's always something in the offseason. Whether it's Flores, it's Tua's concussions, it's cocaine coaches. You know what I'm saying? It's something. It's always something. It's what was it when we tampered with the draft picks with Brady? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. It's always something. And I feel like maybe we didn't have an episode on it, but I felt like we tried to go down the years and then find out when there was a year without headlines in the offseason. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kadeem. You don't hear about other teams as much as you hear about the Dolphins in the offseason, do you? And I understand we're Dolphin fans, so I know we're more locked into the Dolphins, but am I tripping, bro? Is there like some crazy stuff every offseason in Cincinnati going on that we just don't hear about, or what?
I don't know about Cincinnati. I know, is it the Chiefs mega fan has just been like sentenced to how many years in jail for robbing a bank? And I feel like there's probably other stuff on other teams' social media which we just aren't privy to. But I guess in terms of, the national media or media in general having something to write about, I can't imagine other teams go through what Dolphins go through, unless it's a case of, Browns fans right now wondering whether they should have drafted Mason Graham and who's going to be the quarterback. And if you've been a Brown fan or a Texans fan, you've had, number 4 kind of messing things up for you. And then also, I guess if you're a Patriots fan, you've got Stephon Diggs having boat partied with maybe some white powder, I guess.
But it wasn't white though; it was pink, Kadeem.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, I don't think he should be doing that. But at the same time,
But doing what though? Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Someone call it the Diddy dust.
Yeah,
so, you know what I'm saying. But like, let's be real though. Like, it was just how we know it wasn't. What's that candy with the white stick and the Kool-Aid dip? You know what I'm saying? If anyone knows what candy I'm talking about, if you're in the States, I don't know if the UK had this, but it was this candy that came in like a pouch, and it had like this Kool-Aid powder, different colors, whether it's pink or purple or something, and then you had the stick. It was like a white stick, like that long, and you just dipped it in. And I think it was some type of dip. It might have been it was called a dip too, I think.
Dip and lick.
Oh. Hold on. My bad. My phone ringing over here. Computer ringing. Can y'all hear that or no? Was I tripping?
No. We could hear it.
Yeah, my phone.
We had dip and lick in the UK.
Nah, was no. Hold on, phone blowing up. I didn't know I had my phone connected to my computer. But go ahead.
Archie Minnis says cotton candy. I don't think it was cotton candy. But yeah, we definitely had in the UK dip and lick, which sounds like a Diddy kind of candy. But
Fun dip. That's it, bro. I thought there it is. Fun dip. Fun dip.
I wonder if it's the same. Okay, we had something similar. I was very worried about putting on Google Fun Dip. I didn't know what was going to come up, but we are all good. We are all good.
Bro.
Shout out to Chris Herrera as well.
So how we know it wasn't Fun Dip, Kadeem? Why? Like everybody's like, oh, how many games Diggs is gonna get? Why? I don't understand why he can't get out of this. Like, yo, I'm on a boat and I'm sharing my Fun Dip. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how he can't get out of that. But go ahead, Kadeem.
I was gonna say, like, maybe if it was my kind of party, there might be some Fun Dip going around. But at a Diddy party, I'm sure Fun Dip is something completely different. And I ain't trying to get involved with a Stephon Diggs and Diddy Fun Dip. Too many D's, too many DIs. Diggs, Diddy, Dip. Like, I'm good.
You see, Kadeem said there's too many D's, and I think you're supposed to say no Diddy first. No Diddy. You were supposed to say no Diddy before that one, bro. You missed the opportunity.
Apologies. It's funny as well because we were going to do an episode on the whole content creator read, Miami Dolphins beat writer / journalist, because I felt like over here on Go Time Dolphins we are in a somewhat privileged position, given that I was a former journalist. When we started this podcast, I was a sports journalist. I'd been in NFL press conferences. I'd covered NFL games from the press box, but there's more pressing news in Miami Dolphins at the moment. What day was it? Was it Wednesday, Thursday?
I feel like it was Thursday.
Thursday, Schefter comes out and says that the
no. If you're talking about the Schefter, that's different. That could have been Wednesday, but I thought you was talking about the bigger headline. But you could go wherever you're gonna go with it.
What's the bigger headline?
Oh, Tyreek Hill?
Oh no, I was thinking Jonnu Smith.
Nah, bro. Hold on, Kadeem. You don't think Tyreek Hill is the bigger headline than Jonnu Smith right now?
Tyreek Hill is always a headline. There's always something with Tyreek Hill, and I think Tyreek Hill.
Did you see the video when I sent what I sent to you?
When did you send it?
In the group chat.
Which one?
I'm sure you know about it by now. When Tyreek said he was going to knock out Coach McDaniel.
Yeah, like,
you don't think that's a big deal, bro? You don't think that's a bigger deal than Jonnu Smith?
No, but again, I say it's a big deal, but I can imagine it's one of those things where sometimes you get angry with someone and you say you're going to do something which, like, I didn't actually mean it. And I think especially in sports terms, it's, put it this way, Tyreek Hill said it, and the only people I saw talking about it were a few disgruntled Dolphins fans. I didn't see, the Schefter, the Rappaport, the ESPN segment, and maybe that's because I'm in the UK, but I saw more people talk about Jonnu Smith potentially being traded than Tyreek Hill talking to Aiden Ross.
Hey, chat, what's the bigger deal? Because this is a Dolphins podcast. So what's the bigger deal? Jonnu Smith requesting a trade or Tyreek Hill saying he wanted to knock out Coach McDaniel?
I don't think Jonnu Smith requested the trade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my fault. It wasn't even a trade. It was a pay raise.
Yeah.
He requested more money. So let's reword that. Jonnu Smith requesting more money or Tyreek Hill saying he wanted to knock out Coach McDaniel. What's the bigger deal? Let us know in the chat. And while you let us know in the chat, Kadeem, I say we go to the Tyreek Hill route first, and then we'll discuss the Jonnu Smith thing. I'm going to be real with you, Kadeem. It's probably a quarter of the team on every NFL team wants to knock out their head coach. I ain't going to lie to you. It is easily.
Yeah.
It's probably a quarter of the players want to that I wanted to knock out coach that day, whatever. I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
But none of them say it while they're being recorded with cameras in front of them. You see what I'm saying, Kadeem?
Yeah.
And not only they don't say it with cameras in front, they probably don't even say it to a certain amount of their teammates. They're like, I wouldn't even say that to that teammate because it'll get blown out of proportion or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. The reason why I think this is a deal, and honestly, I'll say it like this. I think it's a deal because he has allegations in his past about domestic violence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is not the route that I was gonna go, but it's there and it has to be talked about, right? So he does have, and it could be argued that he has anger management issues. You know what I'm saying? So for you to publicly come out and say, I wanted to knock out our head coach, forget that part. The next part for me is, what if it was Mike Tomlin? Would you have still said something like that? You know what I'm saying? What if it was Andy Reid? Would you have still said something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder where that line stops. I wonder how many coaches he would draw the line at if it was another coach in McDaniel's position. Go ahead, you about to say.
Wasn't it Kelsey that put hands on Andy Reid?
Yes,
and
but we talking about Tyreek right now. We're not talking
about but you said how many players will talk about Andy Reid?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said how many coaches would Tyreek have said that about?
Oh, okay. But and again, the manner in which Kelsey put hands on Reid wasn't. I think at the time I was like, "Oh, hey, you don't do that." But then they kind of just let it go. Yeah, and heat in the moment, things are done. It wasn't the end of the world, and I think that's what I took from the Hill thing. I was like, "Yeah, I agree with you in terms of there's probably a quarter of a team, especially guys who aren't getting featured as much, going, yeah, I want in their group chat to the family, hey, me and coach, man, yeah, if I see him down the alley, then X, Y, and Z." I didn't think too much of it simply because, like I said, I feel like with Tyreek Hill, it's not him saying that wasn't a troll, but it's kind of just got to a point where it's like, you do stuff and it just goes over my head. I don't care no more. Like there's the clip of Aiden Ross telling him that he's being traded. He's like, hey, let's go. And then he hasn't been traded. That wasn't my timeline for like 10 minutes. And it's like, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but that one kind of came off as more trolling for me. I didn't think that was
but that's the thing. Like, I'm talking about from where I was. I'm here in the UK. I don't have ESPN. I don't have NFL Network. I wasn't watching Pat McAfee. But my timeline in terms of Tyreek Hill stuff, the biggest talking point has been what he said about coach, but it's been a few disgruntled Dolphins fans. And like I said, my timeline has been Jonnu Smith. Once Jonnu Smith news came out, my timeline has been non-stop Jonnu Smith news. That's why then you said the big news. I'd already forgotten about Tyreek Hill because my timeline forgot about Tyreek Hill. So
all right, so let's go to Jonnu Smith and then we'll circle back and see which one is a bigger deal to us. So Jonnu Smith, his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, the Dolphins do a lot of business with Drew Rosenhaus. Can't say it's per his agent, but it's per league sources. Jonnu Smith wants a pay raise. I think he's on the cap for like 4.5 this year. Is that accurate, Kadeem?
I think I saw that 4.3, so I will double check with Spotrac, but yeah.
So he's on the cap for 4.5 this year, and I would say the tight end market, what he's clearly underpaid, but I think the really where he's supposed to be is at about 10 million. What are we doing with Jonnu Smith, Kadeem?
So Spotrac has him down at 4.64 mil this year. He's a free agent in 2026, and there's two ways to look at this. There's the Jonnu Smith comes to Miami, does great, hasn't been an issue, wants to get paid the way he's being played, give him his money. Cool, fair enough. Then there's the second part, which is Jonnu Smith has come to Miami, played one good year, and if anything was 3/4 of a year, if not half a year, and then wants a pay rise. And given what the Dolphins have done with Tyreek Hill, Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, like, no, we're not doing this. You are 30, about to be 31, and your contract runs out in 2026. You either play on this, play on what you are, or sorry, on what you're being paid, or you go. We aren't like this is where the buck stops. And unfortunately, it's with Jonnu Smith. I'm in the latter camp. It's unfortunate that Smith seems to be the one that might get traded when the guys I just mentioned, Howard's, Ramsey, and Tyreek Hill, all got pay rises. In the case of Xavier Howard, multiple pay rises, and by the end of the season, all three are probably gone. One has definitely gone already, and one's probably going to be gone in the next 48 to 72 hours. But if you're the Dolphins and you have a bunch of contracts that you can get out in 2026, why would you extend Jonnu Smith and give him more money when it looks like you are going to pivot in a different direction in 12 months? So, yeah, Smith, nice try. I can't imagine you're going to get much money from the Dolphins.
See, Kadeem, this is why I say you just put your foot down. Don't pay nobody. You paid him you paid Tyreek to be, I think, the highest paid receiver in football, maybe the second highest at the time. I can't remember what that contract was when we first got him, but you paid him that. Play on that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want more money and you're disgruntled about what you make compared to what the market is, fire your agent and get a new one, and you won't be in this situation no more. And then your agent will negotiate a rate that is closer to what the market determines. Bro, you blew it. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, Kadeem, what we don't do is say, hey, you got to give us some of that money back if you underperform. You know what I'm saying? You underperform, we don't ask for the money back. You underperform, and we got to take that L. If you overperform, that's when people, I performed this contract. Yeah, well, look, that's the nature of the business. What happens if you underperform next year? It's the nature of the business. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like paying players after they got a huge contract. It's not like we're talking about the Brock Purdy's of the world where you're on a rookie deal and you can't do something about that. It's like, this is unfortunate that it's Jonnu Smith. Not only is it Jonnu Smith, it's Go Time Dolphins Award, Offensive Player of the Year award winner, Jonnu Smith. He got our award. He got Offensive Player of the Year award. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're dope, but you have a contract. Like, what happens if you get hurt this year? What happens if you underperform this year? Well, are we going to get some of that money back? No, that's the nature of the business. It is what it is. Do it again, and you'll be a free agent. And then now you can ask the next team, or you can ask us, hey, I need this much money now. That's what that's what football is. That's what a sport, that's what professionalism is. And I'm not paying someone after we just got fleeced 3 times again. Like, so you let that door open, you open that door, and this is what everyone's going to do now because you're the Miami Dolphins, as opposed to I have to say this, the New England Patriots don't pay anybody. Now you got to go. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. And then they kept winning Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? So now, bro, you have to put your foot down somewhere. And that's, bro, going all the way back to Xavier Howard. That's why you don't pay him. Like, nah, bro, you paid him once. You don't come back the next season asking for more money. The next season, bro. Nah, bro. I don't like it.
Shout out to the touchdown with Doug Smith. Doug, what up, good in the hood? So Cap for Life said in 2023 Falcons season, Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts both saw significant playing time, with Smith leading the team in receiving yards among tight ends. Had 50 catches for 502 yards, 3 touchdowns, while Pitts recorded 53 catches for 667 yards and 3 touchdowns. And yeah, that is right. I'm just looking at Pro Football Reference right now, and that is correct. And shout out to Liam. Liam, happy anniversary. Liam is my friend from Newcastle. It is him and his wife's 2nd anniversary today. So what's good?
Hey, you get Charlie Touche serenading. Tomorrow will come, and girl, I can't wait. It's our anniversary. I like it. Let's go. Happy anniversary.
So what's interesting is I saw a tweet, and I can't remember who it was from, but the tweet was dated before the draft, and they said that the Dolphins were looking to ship Jonnu Smith, which begs the question: if the Dolphins were looking to do this before the draft, and at the very least had conversations around trading Jonnu Smith, why didn't they go tight end at pick 13?
Kadeem.
Why don't
do this to me, bro?
No,
don't do this to me, bro.
It's a valid question. You know you need a defensive tackle. but you also know you're probably going to move on from Jonnu Smith. Why not draft Tyler Warren at pick 13 and then Smith is gone? You wash your hands of you, go. Thank you very much.
Kadeem, everybody and their mom. When Tyler Warren first hit the social media, everybody and their mom wanted the Dolphins to take Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren falls to the Miami Dolphins, and they don't take him. Do you know how different this draft looks, Kadeem, if the Dolphins went Tyler Warren and Jonnu Smith? Like everyone feeling themselves right now, like, yo, look what the Dolphins doing. Da, 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 da. No one's tripping. But no, we got to do what we did. Not a head scratcher, but something that we don't really co-sign. And at the same time, here goes Jonnu Smith saying, oh, I prefer to be here, and I don't want to get traded. I just want a couple more dollars. And he might get traded because of it. So what's crazy is he doesn't really want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like he wants to stay. He's gotten more I think what was it season high in receptions? Career high, yes. Career high in receptions. So he's getting all the playtime. He's getting all the targets. He lives in Miami. He plays for Miami. Wants to be here. Loves it here, but wants a couple more million. You know what this reminds me of, Kadeem? And this is a bad comparison, but I'm gonna say it. It's Dwayne Wade, bro. Dwayne Wade left the Miami Heat for like an additional $4 million because there's no taxes here in Florida, and then he went to Chicago, play for his home team, and okay, we get that. But you really left that legacy for $4 million, and I didn't appreciate that as a fan. Like, bro, you could have stayed in the Heat jersey forever. You know what I'm saying? But $4 million, I'm not going to go into nobody's pockets either. But I think he did it out of spite. He tried to. This is a bad term because the person is no longer alive, but he wanted a Kobe Bryant contract, what set the Lakers back like 4 years before the Lakers could be competitive again. And then, okay, that's Kobe. He wanted to do the same thing to us. We would have been out of contention for like 4 years if we paid Wade that bread. So it's the same thing here, like Jonnu Smith. And to be fair, I don't even think Jonnu Smith wants like $6, $7, $8 million. I think he only wants like $3. If I'm being real, I think he wants like 3.5, 4. If I had to guess,
yeah,
because 4.5. I think Mike Gesicki gets like 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? Like it's closer to $10 million where he's trying to be. I get it, but do you really want to get traded for $3 million? You know what I'm saying? Do you? I don't know. Maybe we could work in some incentives, but I don't know, bro. I'm not trying. Yo, this is you gotta draw the line somewhere, bro. Let's take a timeout, Kadeem.
I think the exact same thing. Let's take a timeout.
Still listening? Then you're one of us. Got a day one Dolphins fan who hasn't found Go Time Dolphins yet? Put them on. As you're rocking with the show, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and drop a comment on your favourite podcast app, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or Google Podcasts. It helps more Fins fans find the pod and keeps the community growing strong.
Fun times. Shout out to the great Fins fan as well, and Joe Levesque. So there was a comment before we go back to Tyreek Hill. Cap for Life says, if Ramsey goes to Dallas, we get in Shoemaker and the 4th or 5th. But Ramsey tweeted Shoemaker, yeah. But Ramsey tweeted, I think, from LA Fitness, and people were like, dude, if you're in LA right now, you're a Ram.
No. That's not how it works, though. There's like LA Fitnesses all over.
But apparently the LA Fitness he was in was the LA Fitness.
Yeah, that's something you got to clear up, Kadeem. Yeah. That's a big omission.
Did you know that?
Yeah, you omitted it. So I'm like, you just said LA Fitness. So I'm like, yo, there's LA Fitnesses everywhere in the country.
Anyway, Ramsey is in LA. In LA. Let's leave it at that. Ramsey is in LA. It looks like people are speculating he's going to return to the Rams. But also with Kyle Pitts allegedly available and the Falcons wanting a day 2 pick, could you see the Dolphins trade Ramsey to the Rams and then use that pick to go and get Kyle Pitts? Is that something you would entertain?
All right, so there's a lot going on here, and let me break down the layers of it. So we'll go from the beginning of what you said. Ramsey is in LA right now, so everybody's like, "Oh, Ramsey's going to the Rams." We got what, a couple more days? Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah,
June 1st. You know what I'm saying? Right on time. We could trade. Well, we will trade Ramsey after June 1st, obviously. So here's the thing: Ramsey is in LA right now, but he just bought a house allegedly in Dallas. So do whatever you want with all the clues and play detective and Inspector Gadget and all the other good stuff. But at the same time, if Ramsey, first of all, I'm trading Ramsey where I want him to go. I don't care where Ramsey wants to go. You feel me? So if I'm the Dolphins and Go Time Dolphins, if you were here for that 2023 draft, I think it was, maybe 24, the Dolphins drafted Luke Schoonmaker and in the
mock draft.
In the mock drafts that offseason. Not only that, Schoonmaker and Mike McDaniel had a pretty good laugh. And then Schoonmaker was like, yo, I love Coach McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? So there could be something there. I would have opted to go. Well, Jalen Tolbert's playing on his last year of his contract, I think, of his rookie deal. And then you have Jonathan Mingo. The Cowboys just spent a second-round pick on Jonathan Mingo. They traded a second-round pick to Carolina for Jonathan Mingo, then traded a third-round pick to Pittsburgh for George Pickens. So I don't know if the Cowboys know what they're doing over there. But talent is talent. So cool, you're amassing talent. Great. For my dollar and for Kadeem's pound, I like the Schoonmaker pickup. Straight up. I like Schoonmaker. I'll go Schoonmaker. And then if I could get a pick with Schoonmaker, that would be great. If you give me a fourth and Schoonmaker or a fifth and Schoonmaker, I'm not tripping whatsoever. Because Schoonmaker can do everything what Jonnu Smith can do. Like, so I'm good with that. As far as Kyle Pitts goes, I thought we seen this movie before. I thought we had Mike Gesicki. I thought it was he's not a wide tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like, or he's not an inline tight end. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I thought we've been here before. Why are we gonna not only trade for Kyle Pitts, but then we have to pay him, and he's just like Mike Gesicki all over again, whom I love, by the way. I love Mike Gesicki. He just doesn't fit what we're doing here in Miami right now. And shout out to Mike Gesicki on his way out the door. He said, yo, I knew I was going to get lesser targets. We got 2 world-class wide receivers here. Now we got a world-class running back as well. Like, come on now. What are we doing with Kyle Pitts? So it's a no for me, dogs, with Kyle Pitts.
What you just said, I don't know we're going to move on to Tyreek Hill, but is that why the Dolphins are like, Smith, you can go because you've got Achan, you've got Jalen Wright, you just picked up Ollie Gordon, you've got Alexander Mattison, you've got Tyreek Hill, don't know for how much longer, you've got Jalen Waddle, you just picked up another wide receiver in Nick, Ikene Westbrook. No one's saying that Jonnu Smith, who's the Westbrook Ikene, sorry. No one is saying that Smith's targets are going to decrease. But if you've bolstered your offensive line, you've got probably a running back A and B in Achan and Wright, and you've probably finally got yourself a third wide receiver. Hey Smith, targets, like, we can get rid of you. We've got a big body guy. So listen, I'm not saying that's how.
What big body guy we got? Westbrook Ikene?
Yeah.
He's not a tight end though. He's
not. But I'm saying you have your third receiver, so you might not need to be so reliant on Jonnu Smith. So yeah, I'm just saying maybe the Dolphins are like, we've seen what we can do with a tight end, and that's great, but we've replaced your targets with X, Y, and Z. So you want some more money? Go get it from Pittsburgh or whoever's willing to pay you that. It's not going to be here.
Here's the thing. I believe the Dolphins want to go more 11 personnel, and here's why. When you bring in Nick Westbrook-Ikene and he blocks well, I think he's just really going to replace. He's going to be the Craycraft 400. And who was the initial one? Dude that went to the Bills,
Trent Sherfield.
Trent Sherfield, Craycraft 400, Nick Westbrook-Ikine, the entire same player. All of them block well. All of them are like 4th, 5th option receivers. But what we're planning on doing, in my opinion, is because I do believe Malik Washington is far and beyond way better than Nick Westbrook-Ikine. So what I think is the plan is we're going to have 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back, or 1 running back, 1 tight end. What's going to happen is you're going to have Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and you're going to have Nick Westbrook-Ikine. Not because he's the better receiver than Malik Washington, but because he's going to block more on these screens and on these runs. So now you're going to run H-Chan more. You're going to have Nick Westbrook-Ikine being blocking, and then you have Jonnu Smith. Now, the thing is, we run a lot of screens. And I think we're going to try to resort to that more often now because it was successful last year. And Jonnu Smith got all of his shine and H-Chan. And the most important play of the season was a screen pass to Tyreek Hill that we just floated around my group chat against the Cowboys, right? 3rd and 3, game on the line. Got the first down on the screen pass. And Braxton Berrios made that block, not Craycraft 400 because he was injured at the time. But that's what Nick Westbrook-Ikine will be doing. So that being said, Jonnu Smith is great to have. He's a great option. He came up out of nowhere. However, he's not a pivotal piece in the offense. He's not a crucial piece in the offense. Now, if you want to make the argument, Tyreek Hill might not be here, which I still don't believe he's going to be a Dolphin day one of the game, week 1. I don't believe that. Now, if he's not a Dolphin, if Tyreek Hill is not a Dolphin, go ahead, shoot Jonnu Smith this $4 million. Because then it's different. Now it's, okay, you got Jonnu Smith, Waddle, Malik Washington, H-Chan. It's going to be a lot of intermediate, short passes, screen passes, all that. But with Tyreek, I'm concerned, Kadeem. Last but not least, as I circle back to Tyreek, I'm concerned. Tyreek Hill got smaller, bro.
Yes.
He's not even that dense, short, stocky receiver no more. He is slim now. I don't want a slim Tyreek Hill, bro. I want the dense, thick, swole receiver that's a ball of muscle. You know what I'm saying? That he's a problem to keep up with and run with. Like, I don't like it, Kadeem. So I'm done with the Tyreek Hill experience. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And I'm not one of those guys like, oh, get him off my team. I don't want him no more. I'm not on that. But as far as X's and O's and the camaraderie of the team, he doesn't fit in no more. And we got to do something about it.
Do you think Hill losing that weight is his way of trying to stay healthier in terms of not getting the cramps anymore and stuff like that? Or maybe he's just looking after himself better? It's an interesting thing to do when you're.
Why can't you just hydrate more, Kadeem?
Oh no, yeah, that it probably is something you should be doing as well. But it's very interesting to, after all this time in the league, to drop that much weight and be like saying, yeah, this is the new way I'm gonna be playing at. It's like, why have you chosen now? But yeah, it's crazy.
I think his that density was what made him be able to take some of these hits. Yeah. Like right now, you looking like Waddle right now. I don't want 2 Waddles on this team.
Which is funny because Cap says Waddle was averaging 8 drops the past 3 seasons. In the 2024 regular season, Jalen Waddle had 15 drops. It is accurate. Drops are a really interesting thing because sometimes you go on a website, and Charlie and I have done this, and it'd be like the Dolphins have had 5 drops. It's like 5. We've counted 5 in the last week, let alone the entire season. So yeah. Drops are such a thing which we tend to, over here on Go Time Dolphins, we tend not to believe any website because they just be getting it wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they consider a drop because we've seen Tyreek Hill and Waddle combine for like 5 drops in one game, and then we'll go to the website 4 days later, and not only is it not upgraded, we could go 2 weeks later. It's like, yo, they just combined for 5 drops. How you only got 2 each? So nah, bro, they have more drops than what the website say. Like, so if it's 15 drops cap for life, it's more than 15 drops for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
maybe there's a analytic where it's like, oh, the on target drops, or meaning outside the radius of his chest or whatever. I don't know what they consider a drop, but these boys drop a gang of targets.
Something that needs to change going forward. There's also a comment from Joe Levesque. He was like, 20 watching, 20 likes. Guys, let's smash that like button. It is greatly appreciated. Saturday night, we are very rarely here. If you want to see us here more often on Saturday night, then yeah, drop that like button, share it. Let's get these numbers up. Let's keep subscribing to the channel. All the good stuff. We are continuing to grow over here after recently surpassing 5,000 subs. So thank you so much to everyone in YouTube and watching on Twitter as well.
About to get in overtime, Kadeem?
100%.
Hey, 5,000 subs. Help us reach 5,000 more. Thank you to everybody who rock with Go Time Dolphins. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Enjoying the episode so far? Whether you're watching in the comfort of your own home or on the go, Go Time Dolphins is where you want to be for your fix on all things Dolphins. So hit that like button, drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us keep growing and reaching more Fins fans around the world.
Heyo.
Yes, sir.
So rookie camp. Shout out to Tim Carver as well. It is past 11 over here in the UK. What was I going to say? Yeah, mini camp has started. Has anything, I guess, sprung out, like anything caught your eye? Any news you hear? It's like, oh, this seems interesting, or is it just a case of it's just good to see the guy slinging the rock, and it is what it is.
I've been keeping up actually, and I'm not gonna lie, Kadeem. It's hard not to be a Dolphin fan, bro. Like it's hard to disconnect. I try to be like, oh, I'm gonna disconnect, and I'm not gonna have my emotions in it, and we're only gonna win 10 games or less. Like, you know what I'm saying? But every time I see these boys play, I'm like, we're supposed to be good. We're supposed to be good. So it's not gonna shock me if we win 12 games. Bro, I watched some highlights just yesterday, actually. I watched highlights yesterday of the Dolphins 2023. I'm like, look at this. This is I was gonna say peak Dolphin fandemonium. You know what I'm saying? But this was of recent times, obviously, as an adult. 2023 was the best I've ever seen the Dolphins. There was times when I was in my early 20s where I seen Marino around, you know what I'm saying? But it was like Marino was on the way out. So it wasn't peak beating everybody down type of Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? And when I watched the Cowboys game in 2023, and I watched the Broncos 70 burger game, and even before that, Tua looked so locked in, bro. Looked so locked in, and he led the league that year. 4,600 yards passing. Led the league, 4,600 yards passing. Led the league a different year in QBR, and I think he led the league in completion percentage. So you hear the noise, what everyone says, but at the same time, it's like, yo, if you block out the noise and just watch the games, Tua is not the problem. So at the same time, it's a problem when he's not playing. So, bruh, I don't know what they expect. Again, I try to remove my emotions. Like, man, I just want to watch the games. But when I see the highlights, I can't just watch the games. I'm just too attached. And that's why we have a podcast now, because it's like, yo, this is all we do is Dolphin football.
Tim had a comment which I was going to bring up, and it's 20k Cam pulling a hammy. 20k Cam had developed loser's limp, and 20k Cam, I don't know how long he's in Miami for, because that might go down as the worst Chris Greer pick. Like, people do not like Liam Eichenberg, but Liam Eichenberg has seen the field long enough. It's like, hey, at least you got on the field. 20k Cam is looking with every passing day as just a monumental fail. And I think it can be very difficult for Chris Greer and the Dolphins organization to stop people believing that the only reason he was drafted was because he's friends with Chris Greer's son. Like,
I got a question, Kadeem. What's the likelihood that the Dolphins move on from 20k Cam and then he becomes a deal? Like, he actually becomes pretty good. Like, i.e. Noah Igbenogany.
So the reason I look to my right, so my oldest son is sleeping right now, and I heard something, and I saw something drop, and I was like, there's no way this child fell out of his bunk bed. It wasn't. It's just a sock. But no, it's like, it's a split second. I was like, yo, I might need to go. But no, yeah, 20k Cam, he's going to go somewhere and ball out. And everyone's going to look back in Dolphins and go, you fumbled this one as well. Like, what was interesting was the bros at the Dive Bar podcast and Nick Hicks basically saying, with 20k Cam getting injured again, saying this is what happens when you aren't working out in the offseason, basically saying, if you think you can only play football when it's like, you know, voluntary mini camps and preseason, you're doing it wrong. There's a reason why athletes across multiple sports, when they aren't, you know, in season mode, are keeping active and keeping healthy. It's so the body can be ready to go back. And if Cam Smith isn't, you know, doing the right things off the field, in a year when the Dolphins need every single cornerback and for someone to step up, I don't know why, but I really thought this might be Cam Smith's chance in his year, when it's looking at the very least like he's got to a very bad start.
Bro, so much I want to say, but I'm not saying nothing, bro. That's all I got.
We'll be back shortly. Maybe we do the content creators v journalists episode. Like I said, I think there's a very unique outlook over here on Go Time Dolphins, which, no offense, no other show can really do justice, basically. But we shall see. Essentially, until then, we shall see you soon. And thank everyone for joining us on a Saturday night. Peace.
Lucy.